It's time to gather together. Hi there, I'm Yelta, and I'll be buying the first round while we chat about Final Fantasy XIV. This is episode 159. Pull up a chair and join us. On the menu tonight, patch 4.56 notes, important information regarding the expansion of the European Data Center, Hatching Tide returns on Tuesday, April 9th, presenting Omega, your new smart home assistant, Nakoya Yoshida division developing large-scale next-gen project, developers blog, and fan mail. But first, let's shoot the shit. What has been going on this week? Hey, Ruby.
Hi, Yelta. How are you?
I am awesome. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's a very good evening. Been a very good week. Got lots to talk about. We had a patch. In fact, when we recorded last week, we had just done the patch. But there was so much coming out of Tokyo Fan Fest that we really couldn't talk about the patch. So that's something I did this past week. I did the patch. All 5 minutes of it. And it went great. It was interesting. I guess no spoilers, but man, what's there to spoil?
Man, I could almost just be like, spoilers.
Y'all want to do spoilers?
Y'all want to do spoilers?
Y'all want to do spoilers? We can do spoilers. We'll talk about it when we get to the patch part. So here's your warning now, because we didn't talk about the patch last week, and you guys have had a whole week to do it, and it takes all of 15 minutes to do the patch. It's a spoiler episode. Be warned. All right. Some other stuff we did together. We were on Moogle Go Round.
Yep. That was fun.
That was a lot of fun. That was great. If you haven't listened to Moogle Go Round, check out their Twitch. I think it's just straight up Moogle Go Round. You can find them on Twitter. You can find them, I think it's Podbean. They're having issues with iTunes currently, but you can go to Podbean and you can listen to episodes of Moogle Go Round.
They're Moogle Go Round Radio.
Moogle Go Round Radio,
yeah.
Thank you. And that's Paul Metal and Chili, and we had a blast. They were up at the ass crack of dawn on British time. We were, I don't know, it was like 9 o'clock our time.
It was our normal recording time. So
it was just normal for us.
Those
you know.
Boys.
Yeah, and we found out that they don't have Whataburgers there, so they can't just go out and get Whataburger right after. So we did talk a lot about food.
It was Food Squad.
It was Food Squad, but we did talk a lot about Final Fantasy XIV. I think they said that we've talked more about Final Fantasy XIV on that episode than any of their other episodes. So I feel really good that we brought the Final Fantasy news to the table on that episode. But it was a blast. Those two were very fun. We talked a lot about the changes, the things coming out of Tokyo Fan Fest, the stuff we're expecting for Shadowbringers, stuff about no new healers, stuff about no male Vieira, the drama, all of it. So go check them out. That's Moogle Go Round Radio. And hope to do that again in the very near future with those guys and have them on our show. So a lot of fun there. In-game, they raised the tome cap. So I did not cap. I couldn't get to 900. The week before I would have done it because I did Orban like 6 times. I did an expert like almost every day, but that was when it was 450. Now it's 900. I got to I think we were neck and neck, Yelta. I think I was like around 525, 515, 530, something around that. And I had queued just before the servers went down because, of course, we had the EU maintenance. It was, I guess it was Monday night, and they shut it down early because the EU stuff was about to happen. And I was in a Suzaku. It was just it was a trial, and we had like 20% left on it, and everybody was doing so good, and then went down. So didn't get that last bit of tomes, but got enough that I could upgrade another piece. I even thought I have enough to get these weapons, but there's no point. We're gonna do a Sarayu weapon farm this coming Thursday, so there's no point. I mean, like if you have the tomes, you got nothing to do, and you're not clearing Sarayu, you can get 4 of those Alphascape Deltaloids or whatever they're called, Crystalloids, and you could buy a weapon, but that just seems so expensive to throw down 1,000 tomes.
Well, especially when Sarayu is so easy.
Yeah, Saryu's really easy. I would suggest if you got a little guts, go watch a video, and then make a learning party, jump into a learning party. We always say don't don't fake a clear party if you don't know what you're doing yet, but jump into a learning and see if it turns into a farm and jump out there. Put yourself out there. So that's fun, and we're going to do that on Thursday. But I've got enough to buy some more body pieces. I don't need anything else on caster. And in fact, my ranged is now stronger than my healer. Oh. My ranged is in the upper 370s, and my healers are in the lower 370s. And I don't know why I'm putting so much into range these days, but I am. One thing that helped me get there is I finally got it, Yelta. That body piece from Orbon. You were there, weren't you?
I don't know. Was I drunk?
I don't know. You might not have been there. It was a lot of FC people, and we had. Man, I can't do this without finding one other ranged person. Every time I run it on range, there's somebody else that's ranged in our group, and I'm like, God dang it. I don't want this person to steal it out from underneath me. But in fact, Mustadio dropped a belt, World of Belts, and he lauded on it and took the belt.
Oh, you're like, all right, that's your
Come
luck.
on,
This
body.
is why that's why they haven't unlocked this yet, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, screw unlocking this, because I really still want to get, I guess you still can roll need on it, unlike those 2 weeks that Yoshida was a bad move.
Those are the dark times.
We don't talk about that. And Jinx. And the body drop from the last boss from Ultima. So
nice.
that was really sweet, and it looks so good. Mm-hmm. My glamour's looking pretty. I need the shoes. I need those shoes to drop so I can do that. But I put falconer shoes on it, and I dyed it. It's a green. It's like a kind of an off green. Mud green, I think is what it's called. Okay. And it actually looks pretty decent. So I'm very happy with range. I got to work on healer a little bit, but I think I'm going to continue ranged because, I've been DPS, and so I'm definitely keeping caster up, and then I'm going to work on ranged a bit. We've got a lot of healers. You heal, and I'm usually with you on most things. We've got Raven. We've got, Kohedi can heal. We've got a lot of people who can heal, and, I know how, so... And I definitely will level it. Whenever we get into Shadowbringers, I'm definitely going to level White Mage probably first. And then I'm going to level the other two because I want to see healer changes. I really want to see what they're going to do with White Mage. If the lilies will wilt and die, and we get some better healer mechanics, and if they completely overhaul some things, this whole philosophy about we should have never just went with barrier healer and hot healer, and how they're going to combine that. I've also been hearing a lot more stuff recently about the main tank off tank thing. So
I
don't know
how that's going to work, but okay.
I don't know if they're going to try to make a designation out of it, or if they're just going to do stances. Well, this is April, and we will find out probably mid to late May when we see the battle changes. So about a month and a half from now, we'll see more. Anyway, last bit, and we can kind of share this together if you want, but Monday we had a PvP night again, and that was a lot of fun. I tuned in a little late, but I thought the servers were going down at 10 for some reason. It was actually 11-hour time. So I got into, 3 of them with you guys?
Did a few. It was fun.
I made us lose every time.
we
Apparently.
We only won our very first one, and then you joined.
And then I joined, and just like maps, Ruby brings the mood down. No, it was a lot of fun. We did some good, and it was just fun because we had, I don't know, there was like 5 or 6 of us that were going together.
In voice chat, we were even when somebody would die, it was like, oh shit, they stopped me. And, it didn't feel, it was PvP, but it didn't feel like bad. I was actually having, and in fact, I was surprised that I was having happy, good feelings even when killed.
They were popping pretty good, and I think if it wasn't for the servers going down, we would have got that last one to pop. But they were popping pretty fast, and they were full. We were doing Frontlines, I guess Frontlines Roulette?
Yeah, the only one that was up that was Shatter, I think.
Right.
Not Shatter.
So,
Secure.
It was popping fast, and it was fun, full groups. So... a lot of fun. It was great. I'd like to do that again. There were talks after that about how we want to divvy up the schedule, which made me think, oh my gosh, we have our website. Maybe we can use the engine calendar again, and people are still around. And I see the memes still floating around. You know, it's between expansions. My FC looks like Will Smith's house after he got robbed in that one Fresh Prince episode.
Do you remember our old Nofficus Bosom website where we just put the picture of the tumbleweed in the event list? Yeah.
But oddly enough, I guess Shadowbringers is really hyping things up right now because some friends that haven't been in the FC for quite some time are popping back up again. We're doing alliance roulettes, and people I haven't seen in 2 expansions are back, and it's a great time right now, and I'm very happy. We've got a cross-world link shell that's full. There's a wait list on it right now. It's actually popping for what little there is to do right now. So if Shadowbringers can bring some fucking content, something that a bunch of us can do in either an open world setting that's not Eureka, and we can have like a flood of enemies come through some city walls, and we can all like attack shit together, but still have a little time to talk between waves or something. I think that'd be a blast. So call me, Yoshida. I got some ideas. For the last 4 years, we've had ideas. But anyway, Yelta, what have you done?
A lot of what I did overlapped with a lot of what you did. PvP was fun. It was a good time. We actually, murdered things and didn't always get completely murdered. And also helps that no one else in the Alliance was being an asshole on any of the runs.
Oh, no, it was great.
It was just like, stop dying. Why are you all going over here? Usually there'd be like one guy or something that would be like, all right, let's all head north. And then you always have to go up to the top at regular intervals. And somebody, had that timer going. So they're like, all right, time to think about heading up. So that's nice. Or where to push or where to defend. So I always like it when someone actually decides to be the general and kind of bosses a little bit. So that was a good time. And again, I was really surprised I actually had such a good time. But I need those marks, because there's emotes and hairstyles and minions and songs I don't have. And those, it takes a while. So what else did I do? I went with the Crossworld Link Shell, and we did old school A Realm Reborn pony farms. And in fact, one guy, level 70, never done any of them. So he had not, so we had to like wait for each one for him to, when he joined, to unlock them and do them. So I'm kind of glad now it's just, I don't mind a nice, a cool, deep quest in between each one or whatever, but the extreme trials are really, I like how that it is now, where it's just like, go talk to Yoshi P and Kagane, go talk to the Wandering Minstrel and unlock them. It's because that's the storyline reason, right? It's not really that it's back. It's really, which is kind of silly that you get weapons from them, but okay. It's like this. It's just odd if you think too hard about it.
Don't think too hard.
Don't think too hard. So we got many ponies from many people. I don't think we saw any nightmares, but even the new guy got a pony or two. But we were mostly in the first 3. I think we might have done Leviathan. I can't remember. We did. I don't remember. We did a lot of them though. That was like 2 hours, and 2 hours of a good time. But people were about done then. So I did get my monk to level 68. It's like 68 and a half. So maybe tonight I can get it to 69. We'll see what happens.
Nice.
And I know I played a bunch, but I don't think I did much. I actually spent a little bit of time working on my challenge log, getting some of that good old MGP, because we know because of data miners that we're going to need some MGP this summer. So, but I have plenty for that, but I thought I also want that ridiculous new mount, the Cactar one. And that's like 2 million MGP or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Not
Wait for May. Wait for May.
Yeah, so and they usually do that that, what is it?
Well, it's the Gold
Make It
Saucer
Rain.
Festival, Make It Rain campaign, but it's
Yeah.
like Golden Week or something like that.
Yeah, so, and that's always nice. I hope to go do your squadrons and get the MGP buff coupon. Those help a little bit, that kind of thing. So, I don't know. That was about it. I don't even think I don't know. Mostly what I do is when I've been logging in, doing my dailies, and by then, someone's like, hey, Yelta, want to come run something. So it's been a lot of stuff that I didn't need, but other people did, and I've been enjoying that. So that is pretty much my week. Of course, I did the patch. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it was short and insufficient, but that's okay.
Wow. You could say that about some men in your life, huh?
Oh, all right, listeners. You can shoot the shit. Go to the website, www.gtffxiv.com. All right, Ruby, I'm going to let you read this lovely list. We had some people eyes around.
Yes, it's another month, and it's another round of our patrons. So thank you to our patrons. We appreciate your donations. We appreciate your subscriptions. We'll tell you more how you can do that at the end of the episode here, but a shout out to Wade, to Kevin Hughes, to Demi45, Eddie, Fleur, Taja, Varya. Thank you for being a part of what Gather Together does. We love you. We always want to do more, so your donations help us to do more giveaways, more events, more contests. And thank you. If you do want to be a part, if you go to our website, www.gtffxiv.com, you can click on one of the two buttons. We do PayPal as well as Patreon. I know some people don't care for Patreon. Sometimes there's drama. Sometimes Patreon does things that people don't like. Sometimes PayPal does things people don't like. So we give you multiple ways that you can be a part of Gather Together. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part. Thank you for even considering to be a part. And we hope to do more things as 2019 continues.
For sure. Thank you. The first round is news. Of course, the big news is we had the last patch of Stormblood, of Shadowbringers. I jumped ahead 2 years in the future.
Yeah, 6.0's coming, y'all.
It was
Get
awesome.
ready. There's still no new healer.
Just shut up. Let me get. I'm gonna.
Can't balance it.
To bring out my
Drink.
inner Tonberry drink. I'm too sober for this. All right, patch 1.56 is the last patch of Stormblood. It was
Kind
now.
of. Like
well,
the story.
it's the last story. I'm sorry. I meant technically the story, right? We're not getting
Right.
any more story.
No more story.
There's no more story. We're, of course, getting, data center changes, and we're getting probably some unlocks, maybe a few adjustments.
5.8 is the last one, I believe.
Yeah. We're getting, seasonal events and crossover events, but... All right, we did get some playable content. We got the new main scenario. It was 2 whole quests, guys.
Woo!
2 whole quests.
Well, what'd you think?
I thought it was short.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to be fair, I did the other 2 playable contents, and then I came back. I came back and did the new main scenario.
Oh, that probably really took the wind out of your sails.
Oh my god! Yes, it was worse that way. I'm going to say one thing about the main scenario. I feel like any surprise or revealing or unveiling or new information was ruined because we had the fan fest right before it.
The hype definitely was ruined.
The hype was done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was. I thought the little fight you do was okay.
Sure.
I didn't think it was very hard. I did it in White Mage. But, I don't know. It didn't really tell me much, I guess. I don't know. It did not leave me with it didn't feel like, hearing the dragon roar at the end of A Realm Reborn, or...
Yeah.
It didn't feel like I'm fleeing to Ishgard.
Right. When Papalimo died.
Yeah. It didn't feel like any of that. No.
Yeah. Since this is really probably the only thing I did out of the patch, I haven't done the other parts yet, but I have comments about them as well. This stood out to me as the one thing, and it's not really much to talk about. I'm with you. The fight was okay. There was, I guess we're doing spoilers, right? So there's a fight where you become like a scion again, and it's a job that I had not played before. But again, it's like only 4 abilities, and it's like sword slash, dash slash, heal myself, and I don't even know what the other one was. And it's just really basic as compared to like when you were playing as Alphino, and really like when you were playing as man, I want to say Y'shtola. Yeah, I don't know why I wanted to say.
They still didn't have a lot of abilities,
Valhalla.
and I do understand why they do that.
Yeah, but I felt like the mechanics were better in the fight themselves.
Yes,
like fighting was it Sadu we were fighting? It was like she was like you thought
I died over and over again.
Well, but you thought that you beat her, and then she's like, I'm stronger, and then I'm stronger again, and then I'm stronger again. This went on like 5 times, and you're like, holy shit, how long is this going to go? And it actually had a feeling like, man, I might not have enough HP. Am I doing this right? Is this, you kind of barely beat it. This one I didn't barely beat. This was like really, really easy. So, okay, so that's done. And then it's not heavy on story, and then even though you kind of get to a part, because like the trailer itself sort of spoiled, but it didn't, because when the Warrior of Light clashes swords with Xenos, we saw in the full trailer that Xenos kind of took a knee, and then you're just like, okay, we beat Xenos.
We finally
like
beat him up. He's done.
Yeah, it's over.
Xenos' body anyway.
Right. And then in the main story, it's kind of not done. But then it is done, and then they save you, and it's a really stupid way.
So that whole you've just about beat Xenos' body.
Yeah.
You have one of those migraines, the call or whatever, and you collapse, and you are toast, right? It just magically you are saved by an NPC, but you only find out this is only told to you when you wake up in bed. In Ishgard for some reason. So
all the way to Ishgard. Took you all the way to Ishgard.
The whole thing just really was stupid.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy it at all.
Like,
and even dumb.
And the fact that who you were saved by, and if you were going to wake up in Ishgard, why didn't you wake up in the same bed that he woke up in? Like, I mean, at least fucking tie it in the same way so you felt like, oh shit, this is just like Estinian. It didn't even feel like that. It just was.
And they tell you in words, they show you like one quick screenshot that I think I was rubbing my eye and didn't even see I didn't even see the screenshot.
It was super shadowy anyway.
Yeah. So I don't know I was like, what was that?
Yeah, I think I sneezed or something.
I don't know.
I missed it. And then
what's his name?
had to tell me.
Amric has to come in and tell you. I don't know.
Like it didn't even feel super reunion-y. Like
he didn't bring me Coco.
No Coco, Lucia wasn't there. It wasn't like, I was happy to see, Louis not Louis was Enchiffant's half daddy or whatever, his full daddy, I guess. But it was nice to see something, but it just didn't feel fleshed out. It just felt tacked on. And
I didn't understand why we were there. I'm like, well, physically, where were we having the fight?
Yeah, how come you took us all the halfway across Eorzea for that? I mean, I guess technically we were on the edge of Eorzea, but you took us way west to do. Why didn't we wake up in Alamigo or Gridania? I mean, it's it's on the way. Yeah, really, really odd. Anyway. What else to that? I don't even know what else to say.
We had a chat with what's his name in between the realms, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that was just like, And then he's like, I've left her something for you by the Crystal Tower. We don't really ever deal with that. What?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like this little breadcrumb. I don't know. It felt weird, unresolved, but not in like a cool cliffhangery way.
Yeah, why leave a thing? Why didn't you say at the appointed time the door shall open and you'll do, something that it made you feel like, oh shit, we're moving to the next step. And then they were all like, everything's cool. Your friends they got it. And then they're like, yeah, they fled back to Rome or what, Garlemald. and the enemies went back and, we're cool for now. Everything's good. It's like, how? How did it resolve all by itself without some weird cataclysm or something else? And it really, Estinian's like following me everywhere I go. That does seem
he's
kind of
stalker much?
That's kind of creepy. Now I'm starting to feel like the Crucible feels. Like maybe there is something wrong with Estinian.
And then what is with like the last scene with the Emperor just being all evil face and apparently he's just going to gas everybody now, or
I'm hoping that he ends up gassing Garlemald. Like maybe his plan is to kill all his own people. I don't know. That doesn't really line up with what he said in the.
It's bizarre.
But he went full Kefka or something. It just like it showed his face and there was some shadow and it just was like, I'm crazy. I'm the Joker. Like, okay, this is how you want to end it. All right. Thanks Stormblood. You proved yourself, Stormblood, to the expansion we all knew you to be.
Yeah, it was very well.
Stormblood sucks. I'm sorry.
I didn't enjoy most of Stormblood. I enjoyed bits of it, but no.
4.3 was the high point. Tsukiyomi was the high. The Tsukiyomi story.
That story arc of its own was cool
because it was dark and gritty. I mean, she was whored out by her own family. Like that's. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Can we talk? It's like, is that even a thing that we're allowed to talk about? That's so taboo. That's such your half brother was in on it. Like that is so freaking taboo. Like I feel gross thinking about that sort of scenario and the fact that you exacted revenge because you held all that inside all those. That's dark. That's beautiful.
Well, and then
that's beautiful storytelling.
And then she had amnesia, and I know a lot of people don't like the amnesia thing, but then her half brother comes back and basically, needles her till she becomes a primal?
Okay, so equipping GFs and forgetting that you grew up in an orphanage together with 7 other people that become your party members is stupid storytelling. I'm sorry, Final Fantasy VIII, I loved you, but that's stupid storytelling. But when you have a traumatic moment, you're raped, you're whored out by your own family, all this stuff happens to you, and you get amnesia, there's probably a psychological part that's trying to heal you by trying to forget your tragic past. I can buy that. I can buy that level of amnesia. It to me, this time it really didn't feel like a trope. I know Final Fantasy, everybody gets amnesia in a Final Fantasy game, but it really did not feel like a trope to me because she had such a dark and embattled past that maybe you almost hope that she would forget. You almost hope that it would continue.
Some people kind of wanted that redemption storyline. We wanted it for Fordola too, but they used her like one time. Yeah,
Who?
Right? Exactly.
Let's tack her into a story that we put on the web once per year and call it done. They should have just put her in a fucking post-Moogle quest. It's like, really?
Well, we can't even have those, apparently.
No, yes not. So I was thoroughly unimpressed with this. I have watched the Shadowbringers trailer like 100 times. The music, it's just the way it looks. Everything about Shadowbringers calls out to me. It's dark, it's gritty. I'm feeling the Warrior of Darkness, and just Stormblood just fell on its face. It felt half-assed. It really just should have been the Doma expansion, and I would have been okay with that. The Alamigo stuff wasn't right. We've talked about this 100 times, but it went out with a whimper.
Was not impressed. That's for sure. All right. New side stories. This is Hildebrand. I did Hildebrand. I always do Hildebrand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Hildebrand fan.
Is it good?
I loved it. It had funny parts. It had
Cool.
tragic parts. It had parts where I'm like, that just happened. I thought it was fun and interesting. There's a trial. It was a trial. Yes,
I think I know. I think I know what it is.
So and just everything about it is cool and I'm not going to be spoilers, so go do it. Let's just say Hildebrand seems to find a way to get wherever we're going. So,
wow.
Yeah. So
I hope he didn't get shot up to the moon again.
He had, what was the name of that polearm gun blade thing?
It was Van Darnus's.
Van Darnus's. I can't remember. It had his own name, though. Anyway, one of our listeners will tell us. But I enjoyed the Hildebrand story completely. The emote you get the that Hildebrand dance they do and the little, after while they're running the credits or whatever.
Is it a mambo?
It is. I think it's the mambo. It's a Hildebrand mambo, Manderville mambo. And then I think you also get the gratuity emote in this, don't you? You throw gold at people.
Oh,
it was good.
I like it. Just this picture alone makes me think of, remember the 1.0 quest where he was dressed up like one of the soldiers? He was wearing the same color. All the soldiers are wearing this deep red color.
Oh, yeah.
And
yep. Trying to sneak in.
He tried to sneak in, and the guy is like, who the hell are you? And he's like, haha. It's like, you don't even look like the rest of us. This isn't working. So I don't know. Hildebrand's great. It's all. I wasn't a super big fan of the one in Heaven's Word.
I liked like the last 20% of that one.
Yeah.
They should have gotten those old fuckers out in front earlier in the story.
They were funny.
They were hilarious. It just kind of seemed like you fucked around and with little not Vivi.
Yeah, wannabe Vivi.
I don't know. And that guy, of course, the best thing from all of those was that elf guy who thinks that you're, he wants to bring you in for being heretics or whatever.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's like my favorite part of that whole arc.
Yeah, whatever happened to the schoolboys? You don't hear much about them anymore, do you?
That's like the only cutscenes I have ever skipped in this game because I had zero interest. But I also don't think I'm the target audience. I know there are people out there who enjoyed those thoroughly. People out there saying that they should stop doing Hildebrand and do the schoolboy sort of thing. But
wrong.
I think Hildebrand, I know Yoshi P even seems surprised that we're into Hildebrand, but I'm like, I think you can't not do it.
He seems surprised at the dumbest shit, though, Yelta.
I know.
What? You don't want us to give away the white raven earrings? How could... What?
Everybody wants housing? Wait, people, why did people think they were getting another healer? He just kind of makes me angry.
Our expectations of Blue Mage were exactly what we thought they would be, right?
Yeah, I don't know. So, but the Hildebrand quest I thought was good. I thought the story was good. It was entertaining. I love. There's a trial in there again. People are pissed about that too. There's people who haven't done Hildebrand because they don't care for them. But now there's like a cool barding and a triple child card in there, and now they're mad.
Oh, now I have to skip cutscenes.
I did get the barding. I've done the fight twice, and I got the barding on my second try, and I'm like, yes. So I still need the card.
Was it easier than at FanFest because you had your own keyboard and hot bars?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I think we wiped the first time.
It was easy at FanFest too. We just had no setup and no time to set up.
Yeah, if I could have had my layout and all my buttons and everything the way I like it, I think it would have been probably fine.
And we would have had a shirt. We would have had I Beat Yojimbo shirt. Oh, wait. No shirts at FanFest. They didn't have shirts at FanFest. All right. They did also add the new Beast Tribe quest. This is the cherry on top. If you've done all of the other Beast Tribe quests, this is the one.
and you won't be surprised. And it's again it's the same formula, right?
Who was that masked man?
Who was that masked man? So I enjoyed the story here too. It was funny and it was interesting, and I don't know. It was nothing like really hard about it or anything, but I don't know. I was happy to do it, and then I was happy with my minions and my housing stuff that you unlock there by doing all of them. So I enjoyed it. And again, I think better storytelling in there than the last MSQ patch. In fact, didn't we complain the previous MSQ patch was lacking? Right? Wasn't it like Orban Monastery had cooler cutscenes and stuff?
Possibly. You know, they put a lot into the 24-man raid, and I think they're going to do that again. I think Nier is going to be some really powerful storytelling. But I thought the deal was the reason that they got other outside people to do that is so the other resources could be done for the main story. And it just didn't seem that way. I'm very happy with the way Orban. I know you didn't do tactics and it didn't resonate as much.
I enjoyed the cutscenes. I just was a little lost when we were doing the fights. Yeah, but I wasn't as into it. I was a little left confused a couple times.
But they still were, overall they're good because they have good voice acting. They're flashy. They feel good. The fights actually feel really good. So I had no issue with that. And the story, I was like, But this was the weakest. I think this was the weakest overall of any of it. And I think almost any patch, I'm trying to think of a patch that really was not as... was worse than this, to be honest.
Oh, I can't think of one.
I can't think of too much that was worse than that. I'm even trying to think back in the 2.0 days, but the 2.0 patches, because they were further spread out, were really thick with stuff. Like 2.1 had a shit ton of stuff. 2.2 had a lot of stuff, and it's like I don't remember anything being this just weak overall. I'm thankful for the additional storytelling. I'm thankful for Hildebrand. I'm thankful for Beast Tribe and things. I would just like to see a little more balance, and I guess if Shadowbringers is that much better because of it, great. Maybe they needed this to go out with a whimper because Shadowbringers is bringing a completely different story to the mix, Yeah,
so I'm really hoping so. And I'm hoping when we're on the first, I know the storyline is about the first and figuring all that stuff out, but maybe they could try not splitting the story, which I think it really hurt it pretty badly.
It hurt the story a lot because a lot of people went into this going, myself included, it's the Alamigo expansion. But it really was the Doma expansion, but they felt the need to continually bring us back to Alamigo, I guess to appease us 1.0 players or to draw a conclusion to some 1.0 threads. I got that with Ishgard, but it made sense with Ishgard because Ishgard had always been locked. I kind of saw Alamigo as somewhat of an enemy through the 1.0 and 2.0 because there was the Autumn War and Alamigo had fell to the Empire. And it was just kind of a fall in place. Ishgard didn't fall. Ishgard locked its doors to hide itself away. And then we found out there was a dragon war. There was other things that were happening and we helped with that. And it just felt completely different. I talked last week about an email or a tweet that we got or something that I read that said, well, Stormblood was about people and it's better to be about people than a place. Sometimes places matter too, and Ishgard mattered a lot to a lot of people.
Ishgard was kind of its own character to a lot of us, but I don't know if I'm seeing that through nostalgia goggles, but, it was kind of the location itself was kind of a character.
Alamigo just doesn't resonate the same way. I like the name Alamigo. I like what it represents, but just if you're going to divide a story just to give us an Alamigo piece, plus Alamigo looks shitty. Let's be honest. Ralgar's Reach is a shithole. It's just not. Doma's so much cool. Kugane's so much cooler looking. The trailer itself for Stormblood was very Kugane centered and very Eastern, and it's like they wanted to really push the Eastern motif, which I think is great, but we just were shackled by Alamigo. So
I really wish I said it, we were talking about it on Moogle Radio. They really should have done that thing where they improved Ralgar's reach, first of all.
Yes.
I think that would have felt really good. You know? And they did change it. They would add more tents and NPCs and stuff, but I really was expecting...
Still looks like a shithole.
I know. I feel like... Well, and I did... Oh my god, what's it? Doman Reconstruction? And that place changed and was... I forgot it was even a thing, but I enjoyed all those little stories. And
yes.
I really felt like that should have happened in Ralgar's Reach instead.
Or moved our shit to Doma.
Or
the Doman Enclave. Something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over. I've said it. Stormblood is done. Bring on the Shadowbringers.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with you. I think they're going to take us to the first pretty quickly in that. And once we hit the first, everything is going to be on the first from that point on.
Well, but we have like impending doom in theory from Garlemald. I don't understand how we cannot deal with that at some point.
I think they're going to push that off for at least 3 patches.
Do you think so? I think
that's
just,
what they usually do. 5.4 will probably have to do something.
We'll hit some.
With the Empire.
We'll hit some. My brain shut off. Some threshold on the first, and we'll come back and have to deal with that stuff. I hope they chop it up that way versus having a little of both for the entire 2 years of the expansion.
I don't mind that at the end of every patch that they give us a little cutscene that shows us what the hell is going on. See, this is where I would hope that what's-his-dude, Varys, has gone crazy ape shit.
Completely bananas.
They lock the doors at Garlemald. Everybody's like, "Where? This is Rubicon's idea. This is what they won't do, because anything I say, they never do." Garlemald retreats. Garlemald shuts its walls. Garlemald is so in turmoil because of the Populari and all this other stuff that Varys starts gassing his own people, and there's genocide within the walls of Garlemald, and there's people trying to flee Garlemald to ask aid from anybody who will listen to get in there, but they're locked in, they're killed, all kinds of shit's going on, and they've gone black, they've gone silent, and nobody has heard from Garlemald most of 5.0, which would mean that we can be on the first, and there's not a whole lot going on, so maybe we just get a crazy cutscene where Varys is gassing, and you don't see who he's gassing at the end of the thing, and you're like, oh shit, he's gassing the Domans, or he's back in Alamika. Nah, he's killing his own people. He's gone completely ape shit. And, that gives us at least some freedom. Well, whether or not that happens, we'll see when we get to Shadowbringers.
And they're going to have to, they've already said that we're going to have to be able to freely move back and forth because obviously we want to go back to our,
right.
I'm going to go to Ulda, to the Free Company House. I'm not going to be locked out of that. So, once we get there, they said that we can just teleport back and forth. So there's no reason we physically couldn't, but I would enjoy the idea that the storyline makes it so we don't have to deal with them. I was really, you and I both talked about it 2 years ago. We thought this is the patch. We're going to spank the Empire and but still I feel like they're so huge and so threatening and so overwhelming. That's part of also why I dislike this patch. I feel like our adventurers and the armies we have should have been no
contest.
There should have been no contest. They should have stomped all over us. They should have nuked the shit out of us.
And that's kind of what Raban was saying during the story. It's like, I don't understand how we're winning right now. And then there was an attack from the west or something. They're like, it was a decoy. They tricked us.
Well, even if they would have had a dungeon where we just go in and basically blow up some of their big ships or something, I would have felt better about it, right? Mm-hmm. If we had snuck in and and maybe that's coming.
Plant C4.
Yeah.
Battleship.
Poison their army. I know that would be mean, but if we
that's what they would do, Yelta.
If we would have done something to put them at a disadvantage, but I found this entire thread just unbelievable that hear this giant... Of course, we kind of spanked them earlier, but it felt like, in like A Realm Reborn and whatnot, we do go through and fight them and win, but it's farther away from them. I thought we were going to deal with them more on their turf, but...
Yeah, head on.
Well, even Alphino, right? He was over there for, 5 minutes, and then he passed out and he was brought home.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I digress massively. Housing. New furnishings have been added. Both of these in this picture from the notes these are from Beast Tribe Dailies. Of course, that would be the Anata's gold pile thing there. The Namazu's cool thing there. I actually have one of those in my yard. I don't think it's going to stay, but I had to have it.
Looks nice.
You can now have Kojin NPCs in your house. If you need some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles selling you goods, you can do it now. It says a new Triple Triad card has been added. Oh, yeah, there was only one added. Except that there were more. But... Wondrous Tales now has Orbon Monastery. So, yay. You can also get that in Roulette now, can't you?
I believe that's correct.
And the new emote. This is that gratuity effect where it's throwing the gold coins. It's pretty hilarious. Battle system, a new trial. Kugane Ohashi has been added, and that's the one associated with the Hildebrand storyline. So that was awesome, actually. And then this next part was kind of confusing for some of us. So all of these older, extreme and normal, some normal, some hard, some extreme, they've made adjustments to a lot of these fights. These A Realm Reborn fights mostly, except for the amphitheater. So I think it was... people where you could do so much damage you would skip things, or you do so much damage you would skip things and then wipe. I have done some of these fights since then, like Bowl of Embers Extreme I've done. He actually now shows when he's invincible, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, there's some things in here that are really good, and this is stuff I talked about when we talked about Yoshida's vision for this game in the long term. We had talked about how if they're putting in trusts, and what are they going to do when the servers go offline? Are they ever going to make this into a single-player game? Is that the desire? And there are trials that you just can't do single-player, and one of which is the Naval Hard. If you try to go into Titan Hard and do that solo, and you get put in a jail prior to this patch, the battle's over.
Yep.
You're done.
Yep.
If you're solo.
And you're going to get in a jail because there's no skipping it, right?
There's really... if you could burn it fast enough to get through it, or if you had a pet or something, but it just really doesn't work out. You inevitably 99.9% of the time are going to get trapped and done. I don't think I've ever completed it solo. But now, players trapped in granite jails, the battle will no longer restart. Instead, the trapped players will be released after a certain amount of time has passed and will incur damage. These are all things, not just about making it where you can solo stuff, but also making it where you are not going to all be destroyed if you push it too hard, because we are all going to get infinitely stronger, exponentially stronger when we get into 5.0. This stuff is really weak. It's weak now, but it's really going to be weak in the future.
Yep. Well, some of it's the maximum damage dealt by tidal wave is reduced. So, some of those, they seem like nerfs, but honestly, most of us are either going into this shit unsynced, or by the time you're doing them, let's say you take your first job all the way up to 70 just with the MSQ, a lot of people are not branching out and doing these extreme fights or even the hard fights. And you are so overpowered by the time you do get into it that you're going to push into these. And honestly, even if you're not going to overpower it massively, no one's going to spend the 3 hours and a bunch of no one's doing learning parties for these anymore, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I guess I don't mind. They're not really a challenge anymore so much as just another thing. I do like a lot of the whole, they'll become invincible, and it makes sense there. Or you can no longer skip some of their, like Diamond Dust. You could skip Diamond Dust. Well, that just, to me, that lore-wise, you can't have Shiva without Diamond Dust.
Well, and what about the Blue Mage? I know maybe it doesn't really concern those, but like, how are you getting some of these abilities, I guess, if you're skipping the actual mechanics?
Mm-hmm. All right, so I haven't experienced all of these personally yet, but hopefully they were all good. I haven't heard any feedback either. I heard some initial complaining about just from reading the patch notes, but I haven't heard complaining since. All right, the strength of the Echo granted in Omega Deltascape Savage and Omega Sigmascape, I can't talk, Savage has been increased, so it's now 15%. So that should help people get in there and farm stuff. Again, that's old now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Alphascape Savage has been adjusted, and I still haven't set foot in there, Ruby. They've unlocked it. You always get 2 treasure coffers, no matter what. No weekly restriction anymore. Weekly entrance restriction is gone. Players can now queue up for any area of Alphascape. You don't have to do them in order, and you now get the Echo, but it's 10%. I kind of like want to go in and get my accessories now.
Me too.
Yeah. All right. Oh, Alliance Raid Roulette now has the monastery in it. We knew that. They added the new Kugane Ohashi to Duty Roulette Trials, and Duty Roulette Mentor got Kugane Ohashi. And the weekly limitation on Elegant Tomestones of Genesis, it's now 900, but you still can only hold 2,000 at a time. This is nothing new. This is something they do all the time. They've added some PvP changes. Let's see, you can't debuff people with invincibility. Players now under the effect of invincibility status 15 seconds after rejoining combat and exiting the landing. Okay. Chat. You can't chat. Because apparently, to prevent unpleasant player experiences resulting from certain uses of items. I don't know.
I wonder what items will no longer be available for use, is what I read there. I don't know. I wonder what items were being exploited. Maybe Reddit knows. I don't know.
Oh, and my eyes crossed, and I was thinking it was the chat. Items will be no longer available for use. I don't know. Does something look pornographic if you use, like, a sparkler or something? I don't know.
Man, I missed that. I didn't see the porn sparkler in the last
I did not
patch notes.
Didn't see that either. They added new items. You can view the new items. There's a list. The photograph has the Namazu mask, which is a ridiculous head on your body. Oh, we should probably talk about this. So what did you think of the Scion Traveler's outfit you got at the end of the storyline? That's like the best part of the storyline. I actually liked it.
Oh, the body's good. The legs look dumb, but the body piece looks pretty cool.
The mask is weird because it looks like you have, I don't know, wax on your face. Your eyes disappear. It's really weird. Have you put on the mask and then zoomed into your face?
I did not put on the mask. I should do that.
Put on the mask and zoom into your face because it's unsettling. All right. Oh, they added some seafood, these are fish. Whole bunch of fish. So, minions. Yeah. Okay. We pretty much talked about all of these. So, they added new big fish to fishing spots. They added the chocobo barding. It looks awesome. The little pillow minion is really cute. It's a fluffy purple pillow. It's very pretty. All of this is kind of normal. New achievements and titles, additions and adjustments to text commands, new phrases in the auto-translation dictionary. They've changed the data center selection screen to show the 2 EU data centers. Of course, these notes are now a week old, and now EO has already been split into 2.
Mm-hmm. Hey, speaking of screens, I know it's not the data screen, but have you seen the Shadowbringers? It's a mock-up. It might even be Chinese, but somebody had made a fake Shadowbringers login screen. It's purple with these sparkly crystals going across the screen.
Oh, like a launcher? People are making a lot of custom launchers.
Oh, it's beautiful, the one I saw. Oh my god. They used some Final Fantasy 15 music, but it's a track I had not recognized. It was the crystal theme. And oh my god, I think I retweeted it or liked it. I'll try to share it again. It was really cool looking. I'm excited. I hope Square Enix can live up to some of these fan-made deals because they're great. Or maybe they can do like other companies and hire some fans that really do good work.
Yeah, I actually enjoy that when companies do that. When they're like, oh, you did a really nice whatever. We're just going to hire you.
God bless you, Sega, for Sonic Mania. That's just amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that I've seen a bunch of custom launchers. And they're kind of cool looking. I don't know if I would ever use one, but I know that Steam players are still pretty pissed off because you now have to actually run Steam to launch Final Fantasy XIV. Oh. Before you could just run Final Fantasy XIV and it wouldn't have to actually launch Steam. Yeah, so let's just cripple your system unnecessarily.
Ew.
All right, we do have important information regarding the expansion of the European data center. I think this was just a notice that this is happening, and you have free world transfers to characters on the European data center. That started on Tuesday the 2nd, and it runs through Tuesday, April 16th. So the world transfer service is free of charge. And then once the 16th rolls around, you will not be able to transfer at all because of the expansion of the North America data centers. So they also mentioned their game time compensation. I don't think they had to use this, because I don't think the servers were down longer than they thought they had to be.
Yeah, they just had a notice that it finished early.
Yeah, nice. All right. And they also had some notes about cross-world link shells. Well, you moved. And if you move to somewhere, a different data center, it will create a crossword link shell with the same name. That's interesting. And then apparently PvP teams that are torn apart, it's going to do the same thing. It'll create a PvP team with the same name. And you'll be removed from your original one. And there might be other minor issues they warned. And then there was a follow-up that said, this was early completion time. Yep. Mm-hmm. So, and they resumed.
Good for them.
Yeah, that's nice. It's nice when you actually get done early.
They better finish ours early.
That would be nice. When is ours? I can't remember even.
Well, is it
Later.
That 16th? Is it?
I
or
think
is it further
the 16th?
than that?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Well, let's see. I guess, because please note that the World Transfer Service will be temporarily unavailable from Tuesday, April 16th due to the expansion of the North American data center. So, okay.
All right. And we have Hatching Tide again.
Papaya.
Join the celebration. Oh, and the egg puns. I love you, Eva, but damn. The egg puns. She's hurting my brain.
Excellent.
I love you, Eva. From Tuesday, April 9th till Monday, April 22nd. And that's in the morning. They've started doing these till 7:59 a.m. The quest is Extreme Extrapolation. So apparently, Jihil, I can't remember her name, ever say her name. She needs our help solving devious puzzles and locating hidden eggs. You have to be level 15. It starts in Gridania. And it's got rewards, yo.
Good ones.
Spriggan jacket. Now, people are already complaining that they wish that you didn't have to have the Easter egg on it. And I get
what?
it,
Come on, it's an Easter event. It's Hatching Tide. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Well, and, you know, if you give your feedback, maybe they'll give us a similar coat without the egg. It could happen. I kind of wish that my Lalafell doesn't look cute in short shorts and long socks. I kind of wish I could have the pants. And then people are also complaining that the boys have flood pants on. They're short pants. And the boots are okay.
It's free gear.
It's free gear. Well, it's free gear and it's dyeable.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little odd to me that Spriggan gear is not black. This is like navy blue, but okay.
Yeah. Well, and it looks like a hoodie. I've seen the view from the back. Mm-hmm. It's cute. And then we have not one but two tabletop egg-related Eastery type food items, and then a pile of eggs, which is also tabletop. So
it's all right.
Yeah,
I like it.
I like the pile of eggs. I think they're cute.
I think the pile of eggs are actually pretty cute myself. We've had Hatching Tide for a long time. 1.0 had some good. We had was it the earrings or the rings? Was it the rings?
It was the rings and the hats, the little egg hats too.
Yeah, and so we've had quite a bit of egg gear over the years, but it's nice to get more gear again. What was the last event that had gear? I guess it was the Starlight Celebration had some gear this past year.
I don't remember.
So it's not, you can't do gear for every holiday, but it's cool the ones that they decided.
Well, last year we got a mount for this event. That was it last year? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. The story last year was like disturbing.
Yeah, was that the one where we had the puzzle as well? Was that the little 2D jumping thing where it's running and you remember that?
I don't think it was. I thought that was. I don't remember. I thought that was the Rising. I don't remember. It could
have been the Rising.
One
of them was a maze. One of them was, I don't know. I feel like there's something in the toy box, but this one says
it was
like
solving. It was like that 2D adventure.
Mm-hmm. Well, this one says DV's puzzle, so maybe we'll get some more puzzle type stuff. Maybe another thing for the toy box. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't remember. I just remember. I don't remember. I'll be honest. I remember liking it. Oh,
you can probably buy the shit anyway. So if you hadn't done it, fuck the quest. Just buy the shit off the Mog Station.
Fuck. All right. Presenting Omega, your new smart home assistant.
I got one of these. I went ahead and I bought one of these.
Oh my gosh, so many people.
Killed my entire family.
What's funny is my husband doesn't even know who Omega is. He's never done any of those. Right? And I'm like, honey, you need to sit and watch this. And he was laughing. Just, I sent it to Kariri. And it was just, there was a lot of giggling. And you need to watch it and rewatch it because it's pretty damn funny. My favorite part is the little boy's room. There's a fan festival backpack. There's Alpha on his bookshelf. There's all sorts of Final Fantasy stuff in his room.
This is full of Easter eggs. There's a lot of little hidden stuff. So one thing that really jumped out to me was there's a scene where Mom is frying up some chicken tenders.
Yeah.
She says, play something romantic. And it plays Omega's theme, but the running gag is that the song says, chicken tenders were ready to fry. And the fact that she's cooking frickin' chicken tenders, they know what they're doing. These people know what they're doing.
Well, the funny thing is that is obviously not the real lyrics, but the community misheard that so bad through the year that even Koji would reference chicken tenders during like the Primals concerts, didn't he?
Right.
Right? So they know the joke. They're in on it. And then to reference it was hilarious. Hilarious.
Yeah, I'm actually rewatching it with the sound off here, and the woman's asking Omega to send her file or a copy, whatever, and he's like, "This is inadequate. I'm deleting your file," and she's like, "Fuck!"
She almost. So some people thought the joke, "You are adopted," was too dark.
I don't think so, because when you watch this. It didn't really make a lot of sense when I was watching it, but I guess it's one of those things that are in the background. Like, it's 2019, you don't ask too many questions. You know, somebody's in an airport with a kid, you don't ask any questions, it's their kid, you know? But, like, if you really look at these two and this kid, like, these people don't look like they spawned this kid.
No,
just from the looks of it.
He looks like he might be from a different...
So it's like in the back, it's in the back of your head, but when Omega says it, you're like... Wait a second. I see it now. Yeah, this was adorable.
It cracked me up. And then it, of course, made me go back and watch some of the other ones, right? Mm-hmm. So, last year, was it the Pokemon Go app on your phone?
Yeah.
That was the Gathering app, right? And there was one that was like calling chocobos like they were an Uber. Mm-hmm. There were several.
We've had Vianga. That was obviously one of the greats.
Well, I was just looking on YouTube, just the ones that had videos, right?
Video.
That were actually like commercials for things. I was surprised how far back and how many there were. I was just kind of stunned. I'm like, I didn't remember. I remember seeing all of these, and then the ones that are like, so like Japan has one too. That manga showed on the dev blog. And we have a translation of that somewhere. It's when I first saw this, Ruby, I can't read Japanese, so I saw it the night before. So it was April Fool's Day in Japan already, but it wasn't here. Mm-hmm. So I'm scrolling down this thing, and I'm like, "Are we getting a manga?" But I didn't look at it very closely. It did not dawn on me. I'm like, I will deal with that tomorrow.
Yeah. It was the big Japanese April Fool's joke, but a lot of people believed and I think really wish that this was real. It looks pretty real, and it looks pretty funny. There are legit translations for this stuff, and in fact, we went to Reddit and looked. Reddit's going to get me fired because I went to look pictures up at work today and said I was going to an adult website. What are you doing?
You
Reddit.
Monster.
Yeah, I'll lose my job like a week after I start. But there's some really funny Easter eggs in this as well if you were into manga or anime. I am not so much, but reading some of this, I'm gonna read Carrier of Light, who's given us some great translations before in the past, had translations for this. And I'll just read quickly here. Translation for the first chart, the Academy. Alizé is clumsy type main character. Yugiri is Alizé's friend and met her at a part-time job. Lise is Alizé's rival for love. Thancred is Alizé's father. Nishtola is the mom. Kryl is Alphino's noisy senpai, and Tataru is a janitor. Louis Sois is the school's principal, who later gets revealed to be the grandfather. So these are all full of tropes and twists, and then also you see references to other anime and manga in here. Aymeric, Enchefant, Nestinian, and Ysael are part of the I4, pronounced I4, but written I4 because it's Final Fantasy 14, which is a reference to F4, which is like the flower 4. Funny enough, when I was on my leave of absence, whenever my son was born, I think Twitch did. It might have been right after the Doctor Who marathon. There was a marathon for Korean dramas, and one that I watched was the Flower 4 Boys. And it's about these 4 boys that are at a high school, and they're all rich. And there's this one girl who's not so rich, but she goes to the school because the parents give everything they've got to the girl so she can go to the rich school and get a good education. She bumps into one of these boys who's the leader of the F4 group, and he tries to dog her throughout her entire school career. But of course, he's actually in love with her, but he doesn't know that until he, and then she's in love with one of the other guys in the group, and then then there's a rival girl that's in love, blah, 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 blah. But I knew exactly what this was when she bumped into one of the 4 boys. I was like, it's F4. I know this. I actually know this one. So they're all good-looking guys. Amric's the leader. Yatsuyu's his ex-girlfriend. Ashifan is the bright and popular guy. Yastini is the quiet, cool type genius. Yusail is the only female member. Then there's a second chart. It introduces the pilots for Warship Alexander. So then it goes into the whole sci-fi Gundam type stuff. Alphino's the main character who likes robots and ended up becoming a pilot for the cruise chaser. Alphino looks up to Kanesena, his senpai. Gaius is the captain, but his age says 17 years old for whatever reason. Alice grew up with Alphino and got treated like his twin sister, but they aren't actually biologically related. There's a cool comment down here that says, Gaius is the captain, he's 17 years old, and Alphino grew up with Alice, but they're not related. And somebody said, oh fuck, I've seen enough mainstream fucking anime to know where this is going. And apparently the 17 guys being 17 is a reference to the first Gundam. Bright Noah becomes captain of the White Base at the age of 17 due to a field promotion. So there's a lot of these little Easter eggs. Back to it, Minfilia is upset about Alphino and Estinian's Red Meteor conflict. The Galvus family is trying to go through with Meteor. Pitch Black TriStars. Lalarito.
See, the best part of that one is even before I saw the translated one, Taligi has 2 pictures. One's his top, and the other's his legs.
Top and the bottom. Thank you, Raban, for that. The Pitch Black TriStars, Lalarito, Teleji, and Adeleji. This is a reference to both the JP title for Shadowbringers, the Pitch Black villains. Interesting. And the Black TriStars from Gundam. Amric and Lucia are the Azure Stars, which is again a reference for the JP title for Heaven's Word, Azure Skies of Ishgard, and also the Azure Star from Gundam. The last manga plot board shows, finally the 2 cruise chasers clash with the Red Brute Justice controlled by the Red Meteor, Estinian. The countdown to the meteor has begun. Will Alphino and Alice be able to stop the Dalamud from falling? Please look forward to the next episode, The Voice of the Star. Very, very cute. Many wish this was real. This would be amazing.
That'd be pretty funny. Just kind of like a strange...
And then but if it was real, Yelta, everybody would say, is this why we don't have a fourth
See, if this was real, I'd probably be like, is this why I don't have healer? Gamer Escape's translation was really good, too. That's the one I read.
Yeah. We'll post one of these on the website if you're interested in taking a look at that. Reddit's good. You can search for it on Reddit. A lot of good stuff out there.
All right. Final Fantasy VII Remake Project Lead. Co-director Nakoi Yoshida, division developing large-scale next-gen project.
So this is a deal. Did you happen to look at this when this came through?
This one. I saw the title.
There's some stuff about Final Fantasy VII Remake on this, which I don't care about. It'll come out in like 2030. Who cares? But the kicking around part around all this is that, PS5 is already in the works. People are already talking about that. So people are thinking 7 might be, the remake might be on PS5. But through all of this news, there's been retitling of divisions. So I'm skipping down to the part that we actually care about as Final Fantasy XIV fans. Square Enix's former 5th business division, led by Final Fantasy XIV producer and director Naoki Yoshida, is now known as the 3rd Development Division and is working on a new title for the next generation, meaning PS5. Based on the former 5th Business Division, the newly established 3rd Development Division has started work on a new key project following Final Fantasy XIV, taking up a challenge for the next generation, Yoshida said in a message. This project has already finished early development as well as preparation of the development environment and is now moving into the full-blown large-scale development phase. The new project is seeking developers who want to deliver both fun and enjoyment to the world as well as surprise. If you want to challenge the world market, then we look forward to your application. The image above the text, a new project underway, has been up on the 5th Business Division recruitment website since 2016, and this is an image of... It almost looks like Europe from an angle, but it's basically a really bright green landscape with blue water around it and a very Final Fantasy-esque looking airship flying above it. Continuing here, the 3rd Development Division is currently seeking planners, designers, programmers, and a project manager to work on the project. Final Fantasy VII Remake is in development for PS4.
They couldn't afford me.
I know. Part of me is like,
man, I am a programmer.
You just need to know Japanese fluently.
Yeah.
But honestly, many are speculating this is Final Fantasy 16. And the fact that our very own Yoshida might be doing a lot of the, not really so much work, but oversight on this. It's within his division. People have been clamoring for Yoshida to do the next Final Fantasy because of the success of Final Fantasy 14. Also, many are begging for an old school Final Fantasy. They want a more fantasy style Final Fantasy, less sci-fi, less 15, less 13.
Less 4 dude bros driving around in a car.
Right, or lady clouds zapping people off of sky meteors and just weird bullshit. We don't want laser beams. We want swords. We want shields. And 14 has a good juggle of both. Like, Asa Law is very sci-fi. You know, there's a lot of sci-fi elements. But there's a lot of old school. Like, we come in on a wagon. There's chocobos. It's very,
Well,
But
Asa Law's got that kind of... It's so highly technological, it might as well be magic.
Right.
Right? It's kind of like, and it's not... in your face constantly. We still spend more time running around on chocobos casting spells and fighting with swords,
Sure.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people just want pure fantasy.
I would go for pure fantasy.
Magic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was actually thinking about 16 the other day, and I thought, it'd be really cool is if they told a story that was very much like an old school Final Fantasy just for the beginning part, like get you like 20 hours into it, make you feel like you're doing like an old school one, and then like open it up after 20 hours where there's like, you didn't realize there was an even bigger world after the 20-hour mark, and it really just like the surprise part of it, which like they list here, like, oh shit, this world's big. I remember back when I played 7, and I had played 1, 2, and 3, which we all know is 1, 4, and 6 back in the day. We're old, Yelta and I.
Yep.
And we were blowing our SNES carts and putting Final Fantasy 6 in the Super, playing it.
But when I couldn't come to dinner because we didn't have a save spot yet.
That's true. But when I played 7, honestly, Midgar caught me by surprise when we went to the overworld. Midgar was very complex, and I felt like the game was very going to just be within the city. I just did not really see a lot of that coming, that the game was so big. And I kind of want to reveal like that, where you get so tunnel visioned within whatever small universe you're in, and then it opens up huge. You're like, holy shit, the world just got really big. That's my personal take on it.
Yeah.
I want 16, but I'm still playing 14.
I want 16,
14.
and I'm hoping if Yoshida is part of this new game, I'm hoping all the crossovers are already planned. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. I'm hoping, because I do like a good crossover. I've gotten more and or less excited for certain ones, but...
No regalias from 16, please.
But, no, it's... I don't know. That's fun and exciting. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Yoshipi's not 100% focused on 14. But I think after A Realm Reborn, he never really has been, has he? I thought he's always been kind of working on...
Yeah, he's in that Dragon Quest stuff too. He's running a big division. It's not just, his names are in the credits for other games. There's other things going on. We've said before, if it needed to be, he can be the producer, but maybe not director. You know, like they can divide roles in some way. And I could see that happening in the future, especially if he does more and more stuff. They're going to promote him. He's doing good work. Yoshida's awesome. You know, at the end of the day, he's doing what's right. We have issues, but the fact is we're all talking about it. The fact is, even with No Male Vieira, it's the hot buzz. Everybody's still talking about Final Fantasy XIV. It's a AAA title that did not sink under his leadership. He saved this game. It's growing. I see sprouts all the frickin' time. Returners are all over the place.
Flowers. I don't know how many times I've queued up for something, and it's almost always mini sprouts or mini. I was like me and 3 returning flowers. It's awesome.
This game is not dying. It's not anytime soon. If somebody's trying to tell you this game's dying, it's really not. So I read about a game that's dying. I read that Kotaku article today about Bioware and Anthem.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know that's a sidestep, but
see,
a lot of
people, I was hearing good things about it, but apparently was it short-lived or?
It got a 55 Metacritic score. It didn't really have any good times as far as I could tell. And the BioWare employees are speaking out anonymously, but they are letting it be known what the work conditions were for that. And a phrase that's used throughout that article is the BioWare Magic. It's really that hope during the crunch time that things magically come together and everything's going to turn out like some of their big hit titles like Dragon Age, Inquisition, and such. And it just... It doesn't always happen that way.
We'll just see what happens. That's something I hear sometimes. Well, we'll just see what happens.
Just throw shit at the wall and see if it sticks.
Oh, there was one other thing. I didn't get it into the notes, but apparently a rating for Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers showed up in the official Brazilian video game rating board for Xbox One.
That is correct. Yeah, I remember seeing that briefly.
So I don't know if it's a mistake or if it's actually going to go Xbox One. That would be kind of a big deal. You know, there's a
huge.
That would. I remember people used to play Final Fantasy XI on Xbox. I think a friend of my sister used to.
Yeah, that was big for Xbox. And to be quite honest, and this is not to take away from the announcement that was given at the live letter, but when everything went silent and Yoshida's like grabbing microphones and all this stuff, I wasn't expecting to do Dad of Light the movie. It was either Yoshida quits or we are announcing that we are going to be on Xbox. That's a big announcement.
Yeah.
That's worth grabbing some microphones and shutting everybody up and getting the cameras up for, because that's money. That means big money coming in. So I really hope that's a thing in the near future. I would love to have our Xbox friends play. Don't put it on Switch though. I don't think Switch can handle it.
Oh, well, certainly do not. I don't want to hear Switch limitations.
Switch limitations.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see what's on tap. There's a developer's blog, attuning to PAX East. This is greetings warriors of light / outlight darkness. So this is a post about Final Fantasy XIV being at PAX East. They had what looks like an amazing booth. They had a ton of people, I think, they're playing a challenge, right? Mm-hmm. What were they playing? What were they fighting? Seiryu?
Look at this. I think, yeah, they had Seiryu. They were getting shirts for Seiryu at this stage.
They had shirts. But
yeah, they got shirts.
Yeah. They did bring their Aetherite crystal. There's a lot of pictures of people attuning to it. This first one I really like because while that's not my favorite gear set in the world, this cosplayer knocked it out of the park. I remember not being happy having to wear that as a Lalafell Black Mage, but that looks amazing. Yeah, Seiryu of the Four Lords. So there's pictures of people fighting that. Oh, and they got t-shirts, yes. What else do we hear? Oh, some gracious player made flashcards to help new players see the various jobs, hotbar combo suggestions, and tips on how to play. Awesome.
That's nice.
That was Clarissa on Behemoth.
That's very nice.
That's really nice.
I saw a lot of tweets from our very own Reinhardt.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about, what was the thing? He was like hiding by the tables and he was telling people to take the tether away. He was like, just take the tether away from everybody.
Yep, further away. Their foam swords apparently went over big. They went over big last year too. So they're cool. Oh, the Gold Saucer Cackpot Party game. They had several out for attendees to enjoy.
We're waiting on a review of that from one of our listeners. Oh, yeah.
Kariri and I, Ulf, Kariri, myself, and my brother-in-law all played it. It's reasonably simple to learn, and I thought I was half expecting. I'll do a full review maybe, and I'll see if I can get Kariri. But I was half expecting, you know how sometimes like games based on video games or whatever, you know, don't have good quality, you know, boards and cards, and the the pieces are crap and the rules make no sense. It's just kind of like, well, if you like Final Fantasy 14, you have to buy this game. No, this was like a fun little game. It had some strategy, it had some luck, and played pretty fast. I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. So I don't know if we're gonna play it like constantly, but I'd like to get Kariri to come talk about, you know, what she thought overall as a avid board. It was probably too simple for her.
Sure.
Right. But you know,
come back, Kariri. I want to see you.
I don't think I would be embarrassed to take this to like one of the Level Up open board gaming. Level Up Games is a local shop here. I wouldn't be embarrassed to bring it and like play it with people. So anyway, yep, they had Cackpot Party board games out. And cosplay. We have like, oh man, we have a really good Tsukiyomi. We have a really good samurai. We have so many. That Aetheryte crystal is awesome.
It's beautiful.
So many nice things. We have Kryl. So good. Oh, that's a paladin with a baseball cap. I'm squinting. No, it looks good. So they say thank you to all the attendees. Blah, 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 blah. I think they were wiped out because they went from Japanese Fan Fest to this.
Yes.
Right? Like back to back.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of them laying on the floor after this, just dead to the world. I think I saw on Bayonne's Twitter, Matt said that I think they get a 2-week break maybe or something after that.
Okay.
Maybe he's taking a break afterwards. So.
Well, they probably need
good for
one.
them.
Because really now we're kind of in a lull. So we're going to be excited and looking forward to Shadowbringers. All the festivals are over. All the announcements have been made. We have a couple more patches, but they're not, you know, really any things I don't think the community reps have to worry about, hopefully. So now might be a good time. Rest up because Shadowbringers is coming and we will need you. All right, happy hour, listener questions and fan mail. I think Bill Mardigan, was this an email? He says, hey, Yelta and Ruby, happy April Fool's Day. I was trying to think of some good April Fool's Day pranks that the Final Fantasy XIV team could play on us. What if Blitzballer was announced as a limited job and we leveled it up and learned abilities playing in Blitzball matches and took those skills into a Blue Mage-like arena? Ha ha ha! I thought that would be too funny as an April Fool's Day prank, but also maybe too soon. Do you guys have any funny April Fool's Day announcements, either about Final Fantasy XIV or the podcast? Thank you, your brother in bosom, Bill Mardian. Bill, Oh my God. So like Ruby and I, before we started recording, we were talking about, man, we should have done something. We should have come up. Because like the night before April Fool's Day, I'm like, shit. I should have sat down with Ruby. We should have like, I don't know, recorded that we're, changing the free company to a purely ERP thing. And, we were going to, the podcast was going to have a whole new direction.
I was hoping to say that Yelta and I were going to run away together. We had been ERPing secretly for so long that it's finally come out that we're divorcing our significant others, and Yelta and I are going to run away together and start a new
My
ERP.
husband would not have found that funny, though, so that's why we...
No, not at all. I would be dead, and then we couldn't have recorded.
He would have driven down I-35 and killed you.
It would have been the Lorena Bobbitt story part 2 over here.
I don't know. Cinna might have been able to take him. Cinna go for the knees. He's weak in the knees.
Oh, well, okay. I'm talking about her getting me. I'm not worried about her taking Ulf. She would have destroyed me.
Yes, there would have been. No, but no, I think I don't always notice things upcoming, so maybe next year we'll do something funny or interesting. Maybe. All right. Is that Ellie? Great episode as usual. Loved your and Yelta's level-headed discussion and response to everything good and bad as usual. Appreciated you guys addressing the problem of people taking things too over the top. To be honest, I became so disgusted, I don't use that word often, and disappointed by the community, I had deleted Twitter off my phone for a week because I was tired of seeing people act like children. Man, I honestly didn't go to the official forums for a few days myself. I don't know what about you, Ruby?
Yeah, it was really toxic. In fact, I think my own Cinna deleted some stuff just because she was tired of looking at stuff. And what it is you kind of get to a spot where you want to see it. It's like a train wreck in a way. Like, I want to look at some of these things, but then you start looking at it a little too much. And that toxicity starts to get into your bloodstream, and you're like, oh, maybe I should stop looking at all this stuff. So in a way, I was looking at a lot of this stuff a little too much. I'll be frank, I was getting a little glee off of some of the responses because they were so over the top. I thought they were funny. So I just kept looking for Reddit posts, stuff on shitpost.xiv, stuff on Twitter that had to do with I'm mad. And I respect that some people were upset at the decision, both the healer decision and the Male Vieira lack thereof decision. But when you start reading into them and you read so many of these posts that are negative, it starts making you negative. And like in my own mind, I start thinking like, what would I respond to these people if I had it? And then you get into that thing like you're having that conversation with yourself in the shower to your boss about how you're going to tell him you're going to quit your fucking job or whatever. I'm going to tell this asshole what I think about Mel Vieira or whatever. It's like, no, stop. Mm-hmm. This is toxic. It's polluting me. Get it away.
Well, I've even seen on the official forums, and I was looking up at that today, and there are some people still fairly unhappy at this point that there are no Male Vieira. I'm not really upset there isn't. I wish they would eventually add them, but it's not the fight I want to have, right? But there are some people who are now like, they're kind of like me. They're like, I don't care if they add them or not, but it's to the point where people have been so awful and ragey that they're kind of getting like, Christ, at this point, I almost hope they don't add them just to spite you because you're being such an entitled asshole. You know, it's one thing to want something and give feedback. Hey, I'm disappointed you didn't add Male Vieira. I'm disappointed we don't have female Hrothgar. It would be, in my opinion, I think you should add them as soon as reasonably possible. Right? That's one thing. There's other people that are like, you are terrible people because you didn't give us all the genders of all the new races. And they're just taking it to dialing it up to 11, losing their goddamn minds. And even people who are like, well, I don't mind, get attacked, and then there's this whole argument about, you have this like vocal minority, and they're like, well, everybody obviously wants them. My post got so many likes, and it's like, yeah, but I don't really care, but I didn't really say anything. Do you need me to come by and say, well, a lot of us don't care, or don't mind, or do mind, but realize that decisions have to be made on where to spend the budget and where to spend the development and testing time. So, but I can see where you could kind of eventually fall into like this dark place where, Jesus Christ, you're acting completely rabid. I almost hope they don't add something that you want, just it's a dark place to eventually go, but there are such horribly extremist people out there who are acting like they're going to unsub from the game because something they want wasn't added to it. And it's like, well, you've been playing for the last 5 years, right? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, well, it's not like they're taking anything away from you, I guess. I'm upset I'm not getting a new healer. I really am. And it kind of irks me when Yoshida said, really? Why did people think that we were getting another healer? And I'm like,
yeah. See, and it just makes me think, does this man feign ignorance at times just so he can dodge a question or bounce it back to get the opinion? Maybe it's a smart tactic to bounce it back so people give their reasoning behind something so he can say, oh, well, we didn't have a clue, so let's take it back and we'll do some more research about it. Like, let me buy some time because we probably should have, and most people would have expected it. But my expectation, again, is, and I know it's a feeble thing to say we need to bounce the healers, but I am expecting, that's probably not, because our expectations don't ever really work out, do they? Some major overhauls to the healing department. So we'll see what we get in May, and then we can maybe grab the pitchforks and torches again if we still see lilies on the bar come May.
Well, and I'm deeply and passionately saddened that we're not getting a new healer. However, while it did take the wind out of my sails completely during that FanFest, keynote, and it just really, really saddened me, I'm not going to quit the game because I didn't get something that was never actually promised to me in the first place. Right? But I would like to give my feedback in a rational manner that's like, so once you balance healers, I'd like you to add another one as soon as reasonably possible. Mm-hmm. I do not want them to drop development on other stuff just to scrape together some healer. Right? But,
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of people acting like completely entitled assholes. And Christ, we had a Design Your Malviera contest. We kind of halfway thought we were going to get it. But, there's only so much time and money. And yeah, maybe maybe they're not prioritizing things the way we would think, but we were never promised some things. So when we don't get them, I don't know. Everybody should be calm and give rational feedback. And
Agreed.
But it's not coming in 5.0. Probably. All right, let's see. Oh, I don't have any shout-outs. I guess we're going on to closing time.
All right. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. You can find links to all of our episodes and blog posts on our website, gtffxiv.com. While you're there, please leave us a comment. And if you'd like to, you can support us by clicking one of the donation buttons. You can find us on Twitter at gtffxiv. Email us at gtffxiv@gmail.com. Please rate us wherever you listen to us. Give us a rating. Personal plugs, Ruby. Yes, you can find me on Twitter at Rubicon Vale, RubiconVale.
And you can find me on Twitter at Yelta Sumasu, YeltaSumasu. As always, thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.